In this Simply English podcast, we'll explore how English conversations, listening practice, and daily sentences can enhance your language skills. Listening helps strengthen your listening, speaking, and comprehension abilities, making it easier to understand context, tone, and meaning for effective communication. It also helps you expand your vocabulary, improve your grammar, enhance your pronunciation, and develop a natural accent. Let's start now.
The title of this podcast is How to Improve Your Vocabulary in English. Let's start now.
Hey everyone, I'm John, your friendly English coach, here to help you master the language step by step.
And I'm Sara. I love helping English learners boost their confidence and communication skills. Thanks for joining us today.
Did you know that the average English speaker actively uses only about 20% of the words they know? That means there's this massive untapped vocabulary just waiting to be unleashed in most people's brains.
That's such a fascinating statistic. It really makes you wonder about all that dormant potential just sitting there in our minds.
Well, here's what's even more interesting. Research from Cambridge University shows that knowing just the most frequent 2,000 words in English lets you understand about 80% of everyday conversations. But to truly master professional or academic contexts, you need closer to 8,000 to 9,000 word families.
So how do successful language learners bridge that considerable gap?
Let me share something surprising. Studies show that people who learn vocabulary through multiple channels simultaneously, like combining visual, auditory, and kinesthetic learning, retain new words up to 73% more effectively than those using single-method approaches.
That really challenges the traditional flashcard method most of us grew up with. What are some practical ways to implement this multi-channel approach?
Well, here's where the science gets interesting. The most effective method combines what researchers call incidental learning, picking up words naturally through context, with intentional study. For example, watching a TV show with subtitles while taking notes engages 3 different learning pathways simultaneously.
That makes me think about how children naturally acquire language. They're constantly immersed in multiple channels of input.
Exactly right. And neuroscience backs this up. Brain imaging studies show that when we learn words in context, we activate multiple neural networks simultaneously, creating stronger memory traces than rote memorization alone.
That's fascinating. What about the role of emotion in vocabulary retention?
Now that's where things get really interesting. Research from the University of Michigan shows that words learned in emotionally engaging contexts are remembered up to 40% better than neutral contexts. That's why vocabulary picked up during exciting or meaningful experiences tends to stick.
So how can someone deliberately create these emotional connections with new vocabulary?
Well, here's a practical strategy. The memory palace technique, combined with personal storytelling, has shown remarkable results. Studies indicate that learners using this method remember up to 90% of new words after 3 months, compared to just 30 to 40% with traditional methods.
That's quite a significant difference. What about the technology angle? How are modern tools changing the game?
You know what's revolutionary? AI-powered apps are now able to analyze your personal learning patterns and create customized vocabulary programs. The data shows that personalized learning algorithms can increase retention rates by up to 50% compared to one-size-fits-all approaches.
Those numbers are impressive. How do you see this technology evolving in the next few years?
Well, the latest research points to something fascinating: augmented reality vocabulary learning. Imagine pointing your phone at objects and instantly seeing contextual vocabulary information. Early studies show this could increase learning speed by up to 60%.
That sounds like it could really transform how we approach vocabulary building. What about the professional impact?
Here's something that might surprise you. A LinkedIn study found that professionals with strong vocabulary skills earn on average 20% more than their peers. It's not just about knowing more words, it's about having the precise language tools to navigate complex business situations.
Those are compelling numbers. What final advice would you give to someone starting their vocabulary journey?
Well, the research is clear on this. Consistency beats intensity. Studies show that spending just 15 minutes daily on vocabulary building is more effective than cramming for hours once a week. It's about creating sustainable habits that stick.
That really puts it into perspective. It's more about the journey than the destination.
Exactly right. And here's one final thought. Vocabulary building isn't just about individual words. It's about expanding your ability to think and express ideas. The research shows that people with larger vocabularies actually score higher on general problem-solving tasks, suggesting that word power enhances overall cognitive function.
That's such a powerful way to look at it. Thank you for breaking this down so clearly today.
Well, let's wrap up with this thought. Every new word you learn is like adding a new color to your mental palette. Keep exploring, keep growing, and remember, those 15 minutes a day could transform your entire communication landscape. Until next time, everyone. Keep practicing, keep improving. See you in the next lesson. Subscribe for more.